Hello, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty Show. Take one moment of silence while I get set up here. Okay. All right. So, for those of you who are new, I was on earlier today, and I I gave a shout out. One moment here. Gave a shout out earlier, not really a shout out, but we took a moment of silence where we were acknowledging just how many victims. And Shanquella Robinson was someone that came up, and I kind of spoke maybe a minute or so on her. And she's somebody that I just kind of, recently heard about and saw that horrific video of the violence. And again, since we've been talking about how you really can't trust the women either, we see that there were female friends involved in the whole, setup stuff. So that's the reason why, y'all just see at the last minute, I just changed over the title of this video and the thumbnail, because I felt like this was something that needs to be spoken about now. And this is where, the rhythm, the pulse of the people are at. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm 51 years old. I'm a retired nurse, 30 years, and a people person. I've worked with different types of people. I've got experience. I've been in, relationships. I'm married, divorced, raised three adult, they're all grown now. Children are grown and successful, doing well. And I'm just coming to this awakening of the brainwashing and the mental conditioning that we as society have been receiving. And I've been here long enough to see this pattern and how things are changing to where now the things that's happening is just unbelievable. The amount of violence and just despair and things that's happening here on the planet here. So I've just been encouraged and touched to share my testimony, share my knowledge, share my wisdom to be able to help somebody to get out of this. Because one of the things that was an eye opener for me today after doing the live, it was almost 2 hours, and I started talking about this Darrell Brooks and how these narcissists and narcissistic mothers, females, are responsible for a lot of, the abuse and the continuation of abuse by enabling these males to, act and get away with doing certain things. And I just know that once we start looking off into Shanquella's situation, we're going to find that there is a male, because one of the friends was a male. We hear a male's voice on the recording saying, dang, can't you fight? Are you going to fight back? I mean, just taunting her. We hear that. And so I'm knowing that, it sounds like there was some type of triangulation going on there where he sicked this, female to viciously attack a helpless woman who's standing there naked in your most humble, most you, and to videotape it. It just shows how depraved the society is, that was nothing for them, that they even, didn't even agree for the story to come back to give different accounts of what happened. and, and post it on social media. It's amazing to me that this is where we're at today. So I'm knowing that voices need to be lifted and put out there. No more taking a moment for silence. No more silence. That's why we're in the situation that we're in right now. It's because victims are being silent. We're being silent. We're holding these secrets from these abusers and carrying these burdens, and it's causing all of the mental anguish and all of these other problems. The stress and all of these things are direct results from victims continuing to hold on to the secrets of the abusers. So that's why we can't be silent anymore. We talking, we speaking up, we giving voices. So earlier today, there was a part where I just clicked on a new page, opened up a new page, and I came across the story of little girl Cupcake. And I don't have a story in front of me, so forgive me for not knowing her real name. But it was the story of a little 3-year-old. I believe it was in 2018 or 19, one of those. And it was here in Alabama, in Birmingham. And it was two sick people, sick individuals, kidnapped a 3-year-old and tortured and, unlived a baby. And today, the woman, because it was a man and a woman, the man's already been convicted in prison. And today was like the start of the woman's trial. And it kept reinforcing that, we can't get distracted and think that it's just the men that we have to be aware of. It's not masculine or feminine. It's really a spirit, because there's some women that have that spirit on them too, that are responsible for manipulating males to commit acts of violence on, people. So we have to be aware of that too. So you can't just be suspicious or looking at the males, ladies. I'm speaking to the women because we are, statistically wise, we are at a higher rate, higher, instance for these things to happen to us. So, wake up. I'm back to these public announcements, public service announcements. I'm calling out, no more silent. Open your mouth. Somebody knows something. Somebody was there. Somebody got videotapes. You know what I mean? So I'm very confident that the truth will be revealed. That's why I'm promoting no more moments of silence. Speak. We speak it. No more silent. No silent. Speak. So, hence the title, Justice for Shanquella. So I'm going to just go ahead and start by maybe just kind of catching everybody up on what Shanquella is. I kind of just started off with kind of more of an emotional plea here. So I want to find the story here, and I'm going to share the screen so we could, I want to react to, read it off, put the videos up there, and, do my thing. And I want to continue to do this when these things come to my attention, because the more we lift our voice, we will heal and become survivors, no longer victims, but the goal is to be a survivor. All right. So it comes first with speaking the truth. Truth says the truth shall make you free. Make, right? So that means once you get the truth, if you hear the truth, accept the truth, you have no choice but to be free, right? The only way you cannot be is if you don't accept the truth. So, right, you have to be willing to accept the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to say, hey, my uncle molested me since I was 2.5 years old. It's uncomfortable to talk about that. right? So we have to get used to being uncomfortable with the truth, right? It's not my fault, right? Once something happens, it's already happened. There's nothing you could do with that. But if you keep holding on to it and you don't let it go, you don't get through it, it's gonna always keep you in a prison. So you have to acknowledge it. Get out of we can't keep repressing and suppressing these things. We gotta face it, deal with it so we can move forward and heal, right? It's like when you scrape your knee, right? Or your elbow. I'm holding my elbow. Scrape your elbow, right? There'll be some blood, then this blood's gonna clot off, then your body's going to start to make some new skin. You'll get a scab over it, right? And then underneath that scab, your skin is being repaired. It's healing up. There's nothing that you have to do. Everything's good. But what happens if you rip the scab off before it's done healing? You could potentially start it to bleed again, and the healing process starts all over. So what I'm saying is that once you know, put the pressure on the wound by acknowledging, then you're able to start the healing process. All that to show how healing is. I used to be a wound nurse back in the early 2000s. Maybe it was in the 90s. I don't know. Anyway, it's probably in the 90s too. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, and I like to, I know life is like different processes, and everything has like a gestational period, and then an actual lifespan, and then everything's about development and all that good stuff. So all that to say is that don't stay in the victim mentality. This channel is going to be dedicated to victims who are on the road to recovery, becoming survivors, right? So we want to be survivors, not victims. Because when you're a victim, then you're gonna, you don't want that title, right? Because a lot of us are asking ourselves, like, how do we not attract these type of, narcissistic type of energy towards us and stuff like that? Because in Shanquella's case, she was under the impression that she was vacationing with friends, right? So how do that has to be scary for a lot of people that are, maybe empathic and don't understand until it's too late that they in the midst of danger. You know what I mean? So um, we want to be able to educate you so you can see so you can see the yellow flags before the red flags. Red is bad. Once you get to the red flags, then it's already too late. So you want to train yourself to be able to perceive and pick up yellow caution flags, right? And and don't get involved to get to the red flags. Red flag is already too late. You will have a challenging lesson to get through, and maybe get through, maybe not. You see how it's a roll of the dice. People will unalive you for no reason. People will own you for no reason. And now we can't just say it's males, because what the parts of the video that they are showing from the attack that Shanquella received, it was one woman viciously attacking her like an animal. Even when you see, let me just go ahead and read it and stuff. And I'm coming from, like I said earlier, like I said, I've been a nurse for over 30 years. And, back in the 90s, I did work a lot with, excuse me, y'all. I need to open the door. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right. So thank you guys for sticking with me. And I kind of really don't remember where I was at. I was talking about Shanquella Robinson, of course. Let's go back there. And I just want to start off. Let me just read what happened, and then we can go from there, so I can get back to what I want to do, because I just want to show y'all how all these things tie in together. I guarantee you that when we look off into her story, we're going to find a man and a woman, right? There's a triangle again, and boom, now somebody's not here anymore. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And we need to learn how to connect the dots. We need to learn how to listen, look, listen, and feel, right? Look, listen, and feel. When people tell you stuff, listen to how they said it and try to learn how to take it in. Because a lot of times these abusers are giving you clues, like how they said it and stuff like that. So you got to really be on your P's and Q's as far as like being very perceptive, always checking, right? Check, 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 check. Okay, so let's see here. We'd like to share our screen, and we want to talk about, I think this is it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, what is known about Shanquella Robinson, a woman who died in Cabo, Mexico? Says here that Shanquella Robinson, 25, went to Cabo, Mexico with 6 of her friends on October 28th. She died a day later, and her family is left asking how. Friends initially told Robinson's family that she died of alcohol poisoning, according to the reporting by WSOC Channel 9, The Observer's new partner, and others. However, an autopsy shows she died of a spinal cord injury. Now the FBI is investigating. Wow. Right? So what we have here is we have a young woman, 25, only 25 years old, vacationing with, what did they say? How many friends did she vacation with? Did they give a number? 6 friends. 6. Wow. Wow. So out of 6 friends, nobody helped her, right? So these are supposed to be friends, 6 friends. So, this is why this is so difficult, because to show how people can be super conniving, that they plotted to lure somebody to, now surprise with a surprise attack. You know what I mean? That's just super low, super low, super low, and just ultra disgusting. And it's so sad, when you see our people out here behaving like that, and especially our women. My little nephew, middle school, and pretty much every day he's coming home telling me about these girls in middle school fighting. The girls are fighting more than the boys, and it's just unbelievable to me. Somebody growing up in the 70s and the 80s, girls yeah, we didn't do that kind of stuff. We didn't do that stuff. Like, we have been programmed and conditioned and gaslit, and this programming to believe that other women, other girls are our enemy, right? At least I know that was happening when I was a young girl coming up. You know what I mean? We were taught that, oh, she'll take your boyfriend. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, we're taught that other girls are enemy. Oh, she thinks this, or she's we're intimidated or jealous of other women's looks and things like that. So we have been, programmed that way, especially if you have like a narcissistic mother. These narcissistic mothers will be jealous of their daughters and stuff. You know what I mean? And behavior breeds more and more evilness, because it's just, yeah, it's not, it's evil. And like I said, starting today, we talking about it. We talking about it. You know, like I said, I had that one comment when the lady, I don't even know if it's a lady, but I'm assuming it's a lady, peekaboo, said, you know, knowing, to grow up knowing that there's these women out there like that. And it shows how common it is that most everybody knows somebody like that. Somebody like that. You know, I mean, these wicked women. So it's not like it's a new concept, or, you know, a new breed of people. It's out there, and you need to educate yourself so you can be aware to avoid people like that. Especially even if you're dating somebody and you happen to, you know, meet their mother or the grandmother, and they got that type of energy, you have to, you know, think about it. Like, maybe this is something you want to kind of blend in. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm on the path and really promoting the path to just really self-evaluation, self-reflection, self-growth. And then, and only then, will you be available and ready to have a successful relationship. Otherwise, hurt people hurt people. So if you're coming in with wounds and things like that, these narcissists, narcopath abusers are going to, they're gonna sniff you out, and you're gonna draw them into you, right? So I'm sure, like, I'm not the only person that you like, you may know somebody, and everybody she gets with is kicking her butt. You know, it's like every, you know what I mean? Like, what, how do you get, you know, didn't your last boyfriend, you know, put the hands on you, and did, oh, this guy too? So, you know, you have to think about, like, what happening that's allowing you to continue to draw that same person in there. Like, what are you doing, you know, to, that you are having to learn the same lesson? Because life, you know, you don't get to just move to the next level because you got a year older. Life is not like regular school, where, like, even if you didn't make it, they may just pass you on to the next class. You could potentially be a 30-year-old toddler, a 40-year-old toddler, a 50-year-old toddler, an 80-year-old toddler inside, because your developmental is on a you know, a toddler level. You haven't emotionally developed, you know, to a real adult. Maybe chronologically you are a certain age, but spiritually and, you know, on that level, you are still a toddler. So we have to take all those things into consideration before, you know, making these assessments. Work on yourself first. Like I always say, even when you get on the airplane, the first thing they tell you is to put, you know, put your mask on, for in case, in the event where oxygen is needed. Please secure your mask first before you assist someone else. And that is for the very reason that, like, you know, even in nursing, right? You got to be good first, because if I'm trying to help you put the oxygen on and I don't have any on, now I pass out, you're going to pass out because you needed me to be able to help put the oxygen on. So what I'm saying is that you're not going to be good for anybody unless you got your own oxygen on first. That's why you got to always put yourself first, right? You are the most important person in the world. You, right? You have to know that. You have to believe that. And that's going to give you the esteem to be able to walk away from people that abuse you, and be able to stay away from people that abuse you, and you'll be less likely to go back to people that abuse you once you start to know yourself. Know yourself and love yourself, and then that's how you able to repel. You know, you become your own um, narc repellent by, you know, doing the work on yourself and finding out why life keeps having you to recycle the lessons. And that's what I was trying to bring about. The point was that in life, even if it takes you 20 years to get something, right? That's just how long it takes. You're not going to be able to advance to the next level until you master the level that you're on. You'll just be at that part of the, you know, the pyramid, right? So we want to grow. We want to get to the top to self evaluation and self actualization, and actually, really evolve. So we're not responding to these little animal triggers that some people, a lot of people, are responding to. And you'll know how to, I guess, be in the matrix, but not like part of it and stuff like that. So yeah, there we have it right there. So let's get back to the little story, not the little story, excuse me, but let's get back to the story here and read a little bit more, see what's going on here in the story. All right, so now the FBI is investigating, and here is what we know so far. FBI investigation. In a statement Friday to the Charlotte Observer, authorities confirmed an FBI investigation. The FBI Charlotte field office has opened an investigation into the death of Charlotte resident Shanquella Robinson in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, on or about October 29th, 2022. Due to the ongoing investigation, we have no further comment, a spokesperson wrote. Wow. So, I'm not sure, like what the latest news. Like I said, I'm just now even investigating this stuff here. So I'm learning. We're figuring it. We're unraveling this whole thing together with what happened. So it's a super sad story. But guess what? I'm sure that she's not the only person that this has happened to, because it was all staged and planned out. Like these people were plotting and concocting in cohorts together to do this to another human being. Unprovoked, you know what I mean? So that's the type of mask that these narcissist, psychopath people wear, to where you won't even know it until they, surprise and pop out at you with this, I'm sure she had no clue how frightening to just, be in the midst of like, what is going on? Why am, no one's helping me. I'm not doing anything. And to, what I was saying earlier, grew up in Los Angeles, California in the 80s when, was having the gangs and all that stuff. So there was a lot of drive-by shootings. Everybody didn't die. Some of the gang members got shot in the neck, shot in the chest, and would receive a spinal cord injury and resulted in them being ventilator dependent. A ventilator is a breathing machine like life support, right? So this machine breathes for the person, because depending on where the injury to the spinal column is, the spinal cord, where it's at, you can do certain things. Like, y'all probably don't remember Superman, Christopher Reeve. Yeah, that's probably date me. Anyway, the man who plays Superman, he was in the car. I mean, not a car accident. He was in a horse riding accident, broke his neck, and he ended up being paralyzed from the neck down. I used to call them my little heads. Anyway, I used to take care of that population. So depending on where this injury is on your neck, is what you can do. So the higher up it is, the less you can do. If you get it in the lower part of your back, you'll have people that'll be paralyzed, have paralysis from the waist down, so they'll be in a wheelchair, but yes, they can use their hands, they can still eat, they can do things. If it's up here in the chest, maybe the mobility might be, look at me, might be a little bit, off or something like that, but may have some movement there. Up higher, now you can't even breathe, right? So that's when you will need the ventilator. And so when she received the fracture and the spinal injury, she went paralyzed. So when they're yelling at her or taunting her about, aren't you going to even fight back? She can't, because she's paralyzed from the neck down. How scary to be paralyzed from the neck down and you can't breathe. And she's still hitting me. I can't breathe. I can't move. I can't do nothing. And she's still hitting me. She's kicking me. She's hitting me. And my friends is here. I can't even turn my head to look at them. I can't do nothing. I can't talk. Can't do nothing. But no, when I can't even take a last breath. I just have to pass out. And not one of them helped her. Not one. So what I'm saying is that we need to be careful of even these women, right? Because they're not your friends. Not all of them. But we have to be aware so we can see the yellow signs before it's too late. Before it's too late. You know, think about people's energy as far as like this type of rage and stuff like that. You know, open your eyes. Like I said, stop, look, and listen. Look, listen, and feel. Look, listen, and feel. How you feeling? If you feeling any type of something about anybody, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Until you know that you are healed in a good space, you don't need to be trying to navigate relationships. Sometimes you just got to be by yourself. Sometimes you got to be by yourself, you know, because when people are jealous or they have, you know, they feel a certain type of way about you, even if it's real or imagined, it doesn't matter, because if that person believes it, it's real to them. So you are wasting your time with trying to convince them or trying to show them that that's not what you meant or that's not what you know, said or any of those things. Or, you know, it's just something we need to be aware of. So, yeah, I'm very sensitive. I feel stuff, and I don't even know if I want to show the video because it was very traumatic, and I'm sure y'all probably already seen it. But when I'm talking like that, the reason why I'm feeling emotional, like I said, I've spent many years working with those that clientele, those people that had got, you know, shot or injured in the neck some kind of way. Most of mine were gunshot wound, old gangsters or rappers or whatever that anyway got the shot in the neck, and now they just, you know, ahead. Those people had to stay on the ventilator, had to stay plugged up to a machine that breathes for them because, you know, they got, you know, it was here from here down, you know, no signal, so they can't do anything, can't do nothing for themselves. So all that the thing is, I know that that's a scary thing, because what I did was I would take care of them at home on these ventilators. And there was one gangster, he was paralyzed from the neck down, and he was just super mean and nasty. He was one of these angry males, entitled, and he would just talk major crap at you and to his family too. And here you are, just a face. You can't do nothing. You need a whole person to be able to do anything. He still, you know, he could still eat and stuff like that. Some of them have to be fed. You know, we just keeping these bodies around. But anyway, let me try to stay focused here. All that to say is that I took care of him for one day, and I was gonna come back to take care of him another day. But let me just go here. I go here, it's my first day, and I pull up, and I'm surprised to see that he's outside in his wheelchair. He had they had wheelchairs for them where they could move it, operate it with the mouth or something like that. Most of the people that received those injuries didn't even want to go outside. They, that has to be ultra depressing too, because you have to, take the ventilator outside, all this stuff. But anyway, he went outside every day. Still, he made the people get him up. He went outside. So I'm pulling up. I'm shocked to see first time I see my patient outside. So I'm like, introduce myself. Hey, nurse TJ here. So take me to the spot. And I'm still surprised how independent he is because, for the most part, you got to have somebody around. So later that evening, he had revealed to me his biggest fear was that he'd have a pop off. A pop off is when their ventilators would pop off. So the ones that on the long term ventilators, they would get a tracheostomy. So they'll, put a hole in the neck with an insert a tube so we can connect the ventilator to it so to help the person breathe, or breathe for the person, right? So when they would have these body spasms, right, because they're not moving, so the body gonna spasm and all that stuff. So they do these real jerky body spasms, and sometimes the ventilator would pop off and become disconnected, right? And so me, the nurse or family member, someone had to come rush over there and connect them back because they can't breathe on their own because they're paralyzed from the neck injury. So no breathing. That's how the young lady suffocated because she couldn't breathe. Her brain, the signal broken because of the spinal cord injury. So he reveals to me that because I come in there the next night. I'm sorry, I did work with him 2 nights. So the first night I meet him there, and then the next night he's not. When I come up to the drive up there, he's not there. Nobody's on the outside. So I walk to the back, and I hear the ventilator beeping, beep 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 beep. When it's beeping, is something's wrong, like it's disconnected, person not getting any air. So I come in, and he is in the bed alone. The ventilator has popped off. And so, I just come in, I still got my bag. I haven't even, I quickly plug him back up because I see his saturations are dropping. And so, because he can't breathe. So I plug him back up and I'm thinking like, hey, where's, the people? So his family would leave him in the back because he was so vicious verbally to them. So they would just whatever and leave him, right? So he tells me that his biggest fear is that he a pop off and that nobody would, plug him back up. So I get back to work the next week. At this part, I'm taking in my heart thinking, okay, well, we done made friends, I didn't set him straight because I don't let them, I give it to him rough. He had to, that's what I used to do. So when I come back to work, I'm, before I can get in there, they telling me that this guy has passed away. It was during Christmas. He popped off. The family was in the living room having Christmas, and worst nightmare happened. He had to pop off and passed away. So, yeah. Oh, that's why, I just felt emotional because when I saw her body, how she was placed on the floor, I could see the paralysis, the way, because I worked with the patient people before with paralysis. So I know like there's a way the body looks when it is paralyzed. Like you can't fake that. Like, you know what I mean? You can't fake it. So, and for somebody to continuously, when a person is like a rag doll just there to just, it was just vicious and horrific. So let's see, let's go a little bit further here. Let's go ahead and read a little further and see what's going on here. Where did we leave off at? All right. Video of Shanquella Robinson. A video of a fight has gone viral. Multiple news outlets have published screenshots of the footage with claims that the video is of Robinson and one of her friends in the room where they were staying. Wow. The footage shows a naked woman, barely verbal, being hit and punched in the face multiple times by another woman until she fell onto the ground. A person not seen in the video is heard saying, "Quilla, can you at least fight back?" The FBI says they have seen the video. Wow. All right. So the FBI saying that they've seen the video. Wow. I'm not sure if let me see if I want to play this video. All right. So I'm just going to go on and I'm going to see here. Whatever it is, it must be okay to play because it's what's happening here. So let me see. We're going to stop the share and I'll find this here video so we can talk about it. Is that it? No, we just left there. All right, bear with me. All right, so let me go on. That's not it. Is this it? Yeah, what's that? Here we go. All right, so here we go. One more try. Can I have one more try? Is that it? Please? No, you ain't it. Yes, let's try this. Maybe this might be it. I don't think that's it either. No, that's not it. But look here how much stuff is really happening here. This thing is just really lighting up the internet. I'm really happy and proud for people putting this out there and talking about it so we can bring some awareness and not just let her be another Black woman, being taken up, sent to the upper room out of here and nobody say anything, like when these Black men are being put out, they make a big old thing and they have a whole slogan, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. But what about these Black women or just women in general? But, even particular, I'm a Black woman, so of course I'm, partial to my sisters here. We need to really stick together and keep talking about this and no more secrets and stuff. If you got somebody in your family, you got a brother or a son or an uncle, somebody put hands on a woman and being abusive like that, y'all need to call them people out and stop supporting them. Yeah, here we go. All right. Wait a minute. I think I need to do something else before I click over here so y'all be able to see it. I need to go here.
We're learning that
all right. I found it. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the news footage of what happened. It's only about 2 minutes, and they're going to show I think it's just going to be a screenshot of the actual.
The Charlotte FBI field office has officially opened an investigation into the death of a woman on vacation in Cabo, Mexico back in October. Now, Queen City News first brought you the story about Shanquella Robinson's mysterious death last week. As anchor Morgan Francis reports, police investigating the case are sharing what they've discovered so far.
Thursday, Mexican authorities told Queen City News Shanquella Robinson's friends lied to them about what happened to her prior to her untimely death on October 29th. An officer investigating the case says they interviewed two friends at the villa in Cabo who said Shanquella Robinson had alcohol poisoning. The same story her family says they told them.
They said she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning. They couldn't get a pulse.
It wasn't until her autopsy came back that Mexican police discovered she had a severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is instability in the uppermost vertebrae.
Wow. I wish I was it. Oh, here we go. But I wanted to show y'all see that spine up there. Anyway, we'll come back to it. That's just the nurse in me. All right, brace yourself.
They also didn't see this video. showing Robinson get violently assaulted until Wednesday. For that reason, their investigation is still open, and they're looking into her death.
There's a huge financial incentive to keep Cabo open and to keep people feeling safe. So to the extent they can find, prosecute, incarcerate the people that did this, in my opinion, they're going to try to do it.
Kurt Kearns is an international attorney with experience litigating international crimes and investigations. Some of what he has to say might not be the most promising news.
It's a sovereign state. So that's the first misunderstanding a lot of people have, is that, hey, man, if I'm an American and I'm in trouble somewhere, boy, they'll come to my rescue. And the reality is, not unless there's a really big interest internationally in coming to your rescue, because they will not upset international relations with a sovereign nation just to help out.
The police officer investigating the case tells Queen City News if they find evidence that leads to an arrest, they have authority to bring the group back to Mexico and, quote, they will have to answer to Mexican law. While the FBI...
Wow. So that to me is very, assuring. I feel good about that, which, will be bad news for them, because if you got to serve time over there in Mexico, they're going to be catching the blues, and will rightly deserve, whatever it is that they're going to get, because, that it was documented like that, and that everybody witnessed it, and that everybody agreed to, cover it up. It just really breaks my heart. I have a daughter who's 24, and, that could have been my daughter, could have been your daughter, could have been your sister. And the fact that it was another woman who, was guided by or entangled some type of way with that man. Like I said, they're at the core to all of this here, when you peel back the layers of these things and stuff. So, we have to just keep ourselves mindful so we can always be vigilant and stuff, and to decrease these chances by exposing the ones that we do know, like who we are aware of. And what I mean by that is, like, when you protect these abusers and you don't say what happened, you leave the door open for somebody to come behind you to get abused, So that's why it's important to have a safe space to be able to tell your story and to, help get things going, and, the process going for healing and things like that to take place, which is what my whole heart desire is for each of us to work on healing ourselves so we can heal this planet, take responsibility for it. We women, because this is where it's going to come from. This is our energy. The feminine essence is where all this is going to happen. We have, it's here, right? And so until we wake up, and we wake up each other, one another, right? So we can get this back, get things back, get nature back, get things, because nature will take care of itself. Like, like life takes care of itself. So we need to step back and allow it to happen, right? Be channels of it and stuff like that, so we could move up. So that I think I finished as much of the video that I wanted to show, because I think they're just going to be a little bit more commentary, and we kind of finished all that on there. What I want to do now is I want to start to kind of break down these friends. We had read earlier that said there were six friends, and we hear statements from the mother saying that they all had different stories, and one of the male friends is somebody named Nazir. I think he says Nazir. Yeah, Nazir. I think Wiggins. I went on the look to see all of, try to get the names of all these friends and stuff like that. But there are a few videos. Apparently, they did come home and start, running mouths off on these here social media platforms. That's one of the other things too for these young people. Don't realize that, when they get on here and start doing all this talking and stuff like that, they just be telling on themselves, and you just just giving it all up. So the truth always comes to the surface, right? Because a lie, has to be covered up, and everybody, that's why they had all different stories and stuff, because they didn't agree on what the lie was going to be, right? And people add stuff, take away stuff, and are looking at things from different perspectives and stuff. So what I want to do is the one Nazir, he has a video that's going out, and want to play that and break down his body language and the behavior, so we can kind of put a little bit more pieces together about what we kind of saw on the last video that we just did. So bear with me right quick. I'm gonna pull that video up. Let me get it right here. There's a commercial. All right, I'm gonna skip ad. All right, we'll pause it there, and we will do that. And let me pull that video up. This is going to be this is the gentleman Nazir, right? So I want y'all to go back and recall the voice that we heard on. I don't think we played on it. Anyway, the video. Listen to this. It's my birthday, and I'm gonna go to this trip because I got asked to go on the trip in June. But all right. So first of all, I'm gonna stop right there. Just after the first few words here, what what if anything did you all notice? To me, it sounds like the same voice that said, "Quilla, are you gonna at least fight back?" Or something like that. I messed up the entire quote, but it sounds like the same voice of the individual who said, "Quilla, will you at least fight back?" Right? Or the person who was actually taking the video. So I don't know. What y'all think? Let's go ahead and get back to play this here. I replied because I didn't know that was for my birthday, since the next birthday was the next week after mine. So where I was at? Oh, yes, I left on Saturday. The trip was from Friday to Monday, October 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st going home. And just keep in mind, a lot of times you can tell when somebody is lying when they start telling story, right? So story and lie kind of the same thing, right? Most of the time, the truth is the truth, so people don't start explaining. The truth doesn't really need explaining because it's just the truth. Like, I don't have to explain to you that these earrings are green. The dress is really green too. It's just the lighting. It doesn't show. This here's a green Tommy Hilfiger dress, size 6. But I don't need to say that because you can see that it is. I don't need to say it because I already know that it is, right? So he is explaining, and he's trying to give a timeline because you can tell this is how these narcs do. They start trying to paint the picture because they really believe that they can change your minds or persuade you to think a certain way. That's their whole goal, to manipulate you, to control your mind, to get you to think this, like, you know what I mean. They'll do this, look over here, while they kind of get you on the side there like that, right? Because he keeps moving around, he's getting up, and he's giving this timeline. Oh no, wait, it was Saturday, because I wouldn't even, again, I wasn't here. Just keep listening, and then keep in mind, like, the voice to me sounds extremely familiar. Damn, Quilla, can't you even fight back? Can't you fight back? I need to find that video so I can play it. I didn't have audio on that one, but if y'all have heard it, I'll find it again before the night's up. But to me, sounds like the same person. Didn't even make it there. So I get off my flight around like
2:16 Mexico time. I guess we're 2 hours ahead. 2:16 p.m.
And most of the time, the truth, we don't really keep coming with the whole, oh, am I not sharing? I am not sharing. Where my share at? Hold up, y'all. Let me get going back on here before I get going anymore. But I'm hoping y'all watching and listening to the whole thing and watch his body language.
I make a phone call. To everybody over there. Like, I need the address. So during this phone call, that's the first time I heard that Quilla wasn't feeling good.
See that there? Y'all saw that? He playing with the hat there. He's trying to, he looked up to see, that's the first time he heard that Quilla wasn't feeling good. And the person on the video didn't call her the Shanquella. So I'm, assuming, that's a nickname maybe lots of people use, that know her or whatever like that. But that was the distinguishing sound that I remember hearing. Quilla, you're gonna at least fight back, right? To me, I think this is our guy here, right? And he keep trying to, right now he's trying to establish a timeline to say that he wasn't there. He wasn't there, but we got to get I guess a picture of all of the friends to see how many males. Was he the only male there? Because that definitely was a male's voice on there. Let's keep going.
They got that because one of their friends told them that they were seeing signs. So she was showing us symptoms of alcohol poisoning.
See?
But I didn't know it was a fight. I got my Bible.
See there? These liars always do that. Here's this book, right? This means something, right? The Bible right here. And he's really thinking that people are going to believe that because he swore in the Bible.
I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie on that. I'm not saving nobody's ass. I'm not protecting my ass. I'm just coming here to keep it real because y'all in my DMs going crazy and all this posting my ass and stuff. Like, y'all can go there if y'all want, but it's not gonna be crazy. But when I got there, it took us an hour. My taxi driver, it took us an hour to get to the village because there was traffic.
See, he keep looking up, scratching his head, moving the cap around like that. We ain't even present, but he can't look at us. He can't even look at the camera. He's not even making eye contact. Look at that story.
I got to the villa around 3:26. Instantly, as soon as I go in, I go to Quilla, didn't leave my side.
Look at that. Now we all know that they said 15 minutes, and really it probably more or less was like 8 minutes or so, because by that time, 8 minutes you really passed out, and you can't go without oxygen for so long. But you know what I mean? So we could see right there that was alive. Once her neck was broken, there was no more breathing. She didn't take another breath. There was no more breathing happening after that. So they're saying, 15 minutes or so would be about the last, oxygen is in the your blood. Even though the heart is pumping oxygen. Pumping blood that's deoxygenated. It's just old blood, So that's just a really horrible way to go to, suffocate like that. And, mentally you are aware, you can hear, I'm sure she heard them laughing and all this taunting and all that stuff, so yeah. Let's go ahead and finish.
The nurse came, but I got too far ahead.
See there? They got to go back and change the story again. These narcissists really think that they have the ability to, fool anybody and to, get anybody to believe what they say. Because he's like, oh, no, wait, the nurse came and all this stuff. Like, okay.
So Quilla was laying on the couch in the game room. The fucking villa was like a big ass mansion, no upstairs, all tile on the wall, tile on the floor, straight tile, nothing else. So it just a big ass villa. I don't know if y'all can view it on the website. Go to Cabo Villas and look at how big this is and what it looked like. But you're gonna see. So when I got there, she was in the game room. They told me she was not feeling good, so I instantly go to her, put on her side.
All right, look at it. Keeping eyes down.
So I'm sitting right next to her the whole time. I was crossing my heart and hope it out. I was there the whole time in the game room, and then they was talking about cooking. So we made it to the living room.
See all those extra details and stuff like that? These are all other indications that someone's telling a story. Like it's story. You know what I mean? Because it keeps giving you story. Like all this stuff is happening. Y'all talking about cooking and all that stuff. She's not breathing. She hasn't moved, right? And look at him. Look at him. Let me show y'all again. Look at that. See that? He's like, he don't care. He antagonized it. He encouraged it. He thought it was funny. I was like, you're going to fight back?
Some soft music, sitting with her, rub her head, just chilling, waiting until the nurse came. Because that's what I was informed that was happening. At first, I was told that it was a male coming and then a female showed up.
Now, who's telling you that? That's not even how the whole game works. I'm not even over there in Mexico. I can tell that's BS.
So, by that time, I skipped nothing. Quilla wasn't found dead. She wasn't found dead. The maids found her slumped over the toilet in her room. That's what they did find her, slumped over her toilet in her room.
See? I got to throw that detail in there. Again, when you have witnessed anything, right? And somebody asks you what happened, you giving them the details from what happened. You don't just, oh yeah, I forgot about this part. That's not how it works, especially when it just happened, right? So he's giving up all these different stories. First, he said they was Quilla, they was in another room. So now how did she get from where he last saw her to slumped over the toilet? Who slumped her over the toilet? Right? She paralyzed from the neck down. She didn't get to the toilet. So here's a lie right there. These are lies. Lies. She fractured neck is broken. She's done. Right? They said that within 15 minutes she's gone. So how they have all this time, then Quilla did all this stuff, and now she slumped over the toilet. How did she get to the toilet? She's a quadriplegic. I know all about those. I took care of them for years. Some of them can't even, depending on where it's at, you may not even be able to do this. Some of them I used to call my little face, because that's all they were. You could only do the face. Some of them, they could do this, and move them out so they could eat. The ones that was just a face, they couldn't even hold their heads up. They had to, prop them up to support their heads. Because, it's gone. Spinal cord injuries are serious. These are deadly. If they're not attended to immediately, you see 15 minutes. You have to have air. Nobody was there giving her any type of ventilations or, anything like that. So they had to have heard her struggle for breath, not breathe, and die. Just sick. And then to be okay with telling this BS story on social media, because everybody's saying explain yourself.
When I got there, so it's like, okay, so when I get in there, I go in, I see Quilla, I see she chilling, I put her on her side, I go up.
She chilling, I put her on her side.
And I Quilla get up. I'm thinking like, damn, we got stuff to do, ATVs, a boat, dinner. I missed the chefs, I missed everything. Anyways, fuck that.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn, I'm thinking, Quilla, let's get up. I say, everybody that know me heard me say this shit. That was my first video when I got there, or second, because I made a video of me pulling up to the villa. When I was cutting up the guy.
All right, I'm just gonna stop it right there. He's having some little glitches up in there, but all right, y'all, come on, don't take, Sherlock Holmes to figure out, or to. I'm just saying that to me, the voice sounds very familiar. It sounds as if it's the same voice that we can hear taunting Shanquella about at least fighting back. Can you at least fight back? Who else voice was that? Let's see if we can see who the friends were, where these friends are at. That's what I'd like to know. Show me a picture of all these friends. I'm curious to see who the 6 friends were. Anybody know who these 6 friends are? Or sick friends, huh? Like they one or the other, right? So let me see if I want to find these friends, 6 friends. Let's see who. All right, here it says Shanquella Robinson friends identified. Photos surface on Twitter. Let's see here. I'm just scanning here so to see if I can see any pictures. So far, this just looks like they're just showing pictures of. Oh no! Oh, okay. I mean, this might be worth sharing here. Okay, let's see here. Here's some Twitter stuff. I'm on share. We got some. I found some nuggets here. Okay, let's go ahead and share the screen here. Okay. Ha ha. I am doing it. Okay, here we go. All right, so there's a picture of Shanquella, and it says here, this here, let's see if we got a date on this. Shanquella Robinson, the source is Twitter. Say update. The tragic and devastating, what is this here? All right, here we go. The tragic and devastating story of Shanquella Robinson is filled with so many questions, but they can all be answered with one word: justice. According to our sisters over at Hello Beautiful, the Federal Bureau of Investigation's FBI has now gotten involved in the suspicious death of Shanquella Robinson, who mysteriously died while vacationing with friends in Mexico. The federal agency has allegedly intervened on behalf of Shanquella's parents, Salamandra and Bernard Robinson, who reported her death after Mexican authorities suggested there was no foul play. Shanquella's autopsy report later determined that she died from a broken neck and suffered severe spinal cord injuries, which left everyone confused about what happened to Shanquella. Among the mounting questions about the recent death of the young Black woman in Mexico are who the people were that she traveled with and why those so-called friends allowed her to be beaten while at least one other person stood by to record the fight on a video. Shanquella Robinson died less than 24 hours after she and as many as 6 friends arrived in Cabo late last month, according to reports. And while the death of the 25-year-old is indeed tragic, it was how she died that was generating an outsized amount of commentary on social media. All right, here's some social media stuff. This is from Mamba Out says everyone go snitch to his daddy that he's a killer. What? Let's see who. I don't know, man. This is some young people type stuff up here. What is this Twitter? Okay, so I don't have a Twitter account, and I've never been on Twitter. I don't even think I'm on Twitter. This is some news report, but I don't understand what any of that little Twitter stuff means. But anyways, let's see here. What is this? A video purportedly shows Robinson being brutally beaten by another woman in an apparent hotel room with a tropical view seen from a balcony. The woman in the video, identified as Robinson, is not shown defending herself in the one-sided fight. The brief clip shows the woman identified as Robinson being punched in the head and face multiple times and then on the floor before blows are rained down on her. Wow. Let's see here. Kay Michelle says, for them to beat that girl like that and to tell her to fight is just disgusting. Yes. Just broke my heart. This is why I put the phone down for days at a time. Tears. Shanquella Robinson. Yes, thank you, Kay Michelle. Let's see here. The sensual psychic, Shanquella Robinson, was murdered by Dejanay Jackson and their friends just watched. Wow. How can anyone... So Dejanay Jackson, I think they said something about that's the person that was actually doing the fighting. So she's one of the... We'll look into her in a second. Dejanay Jackson. Let me write this name down. So start building our evidence, our proof. Dejanay Jackson. Wow. All right, we'll check her out, find out what's going on with her. But let's go ahead and continue reading here. It says, how can anyone just watch their friend who is naked and drunk be beat so badly she killed? She even said she couldn't fight back. Wow. All right, so it looks like that's all of the stories over here. If I can get my mouth, where's my mouth? Oh no, here's more. All right. During the fight, a man's voice could be heard imploring the woman identified as Robinson's, telling Quilla to fight, to at least fight back, excuse me. Right. And we just heard that, sounds like the voice saying Nazir dude. This video below is graphic and should be viewed with discretion. Okay. I think the video has been removed. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Watch who you call your friends. A snippet of what truly happened in Mexico. FOH. I don't know what that one is. I don't know. FOH. Somebody could let me know what FOH means. Alcohol poisoning my ass. That is Dejanay Jackson fighting her. Wow. So people are calling her out. This is BK. They saying her full name. Let's see. Oh. Uh-oh.
Quilla, can you at least fight back? No.
That's it right there. You see it? Uh-oh.
Fight back,
oh my goodness. You see that? See that posture on the body? That's how you can see the paralysis. See that? How the legs are extended like that? Wow. See? She can't. She can't. She can't. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm trying y'all to get this off pretty quick. I can't find my mouse. Wow. Just like that. Just like that. And like that was only a snippet. Like she continued and she viciously, wow. Wow. And these are the women that we are breeding. Like I said, my 12-year-old nephews in middle school and tells me almost every day there's girls fighting and just vicious fighting, girls fighting and throwing themselves at the boys. It just shows how far the grooming has gone to where women or young girls are actually believing they have to compete to get these boys. And it's just making the male less ambitious because, they don't even have to try to hunt for the females. They're just throwing themselves at them. And they're showing how savage they can be and brutal, that you would physically kill another woman, right? So all that to say, even the people who are saying that, like, check your friends. Who are your friends here? This is super sad. Yeah. And that was the reason why I chose to come back out here and talk some more about it and change what I was talking about, because this is what we're doing here, supporting these women causes, or just the justice for Shanquella. Wow. Shanquella. And my thing is, how do you just even be in the same room with something like that happening and nobody is just like, hey, stop, or, so this is deep and it gets deeper, but we have to push through this, guys, and, really start thinking about our safety and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And who really are friends and what does that mean? What does that mean about, having these friends and things like that? Let me see if I can take that off. Okay. So, all that to say is that, continue to, there I go. Support me, and I appreciate, I'm going to say, go ahead and like and subscribe too. And I appreciate all the new subscribers that supported me on this new direction that I'm taking this channel in, and continue to support so we can continue to bring awareness, because I'm just feeling like this is exactly what we need now, before things just start to get worse and worse and worse. Because like I said, every day when I get online and I just look at the front page, it's just filled with more and more vicious attacks. And most of them are focused at women and children. So, and that's where my passion is. But again, I always say we take it with a grain of salt. We're not looking at just women or men here. We're looking at people, right? So, because there are some men out there that's on their journey of self-actualization and, trying to heal and evolve. And some of them have been victim from women, right? So everybody could be an